I'm moving forward every day, Jesus. I just let him lead the way every second, every minute, every hour of the day. I'm moving with Jesus every day. 24/7 with Jesus every day. 24/7. I'm moving with Jesus. I'm moving with Jesus every day.
Your faith has made you whole. This is a phrase often used by Jesus when he would have healed individuals of their varied malady. Notice he did not say your faith has made you see or your faith has made you walk, because Jesus is not just interested in healing body parts, he is interested in making us whole, brand new people. And what a brand new person we have on set here today in the person of Joleen Meharris-Simpson. This is your second time on JC 24/7.
Yes.
Thank you so much
It's
for
such
coming
a
back.
pleasure to be here again, well and alive and whole.
Well, we did ask you to come back and you came back
Yes.
whole
Indeed.
from a particular operation that you would have had. But before we get into the interview proper, I want us to go to a clip of the last interview, which will help us to identify your condition and help us to appreciate how the Lord has worked in your life.
Sure, no problem.
This occurs when the tissue that's supposed to be inside of the uterus grows outside of the uterus.
Right.
And it attaches itself to different organs.
Right.
And it's extremely painful. And it can affect your digestive system. And in my case, it's even affecting my lungs and my breathing.
Right.
So it really wreaks havoc on the
Right.
body.
Wow.
And during your menstruation cycle, you're unable to function because you're in so much pain. So
How long did you find out that you had this problem?
about 9 years ago,
Okay.
I started getting symptoms.
The symptoms are primarily pain.
Primarily pain, debilitating pain, meaning
Okay.
that you can't get up, you can't
Right.
move, sometimes you can't talk.
Wow.
So-
You say it affects one in every how many women?
1 in 10
This
women.
is universal.
Yes,
Okay.
across the world.
And they have the same symptoms as well?
Yes, but it affects women differently.
Okay.
So in my case, it might affect my digestive system. You might think you have gas, you might think you have IBS because of the vomiting and the diarrhea.
Right.
And another woman, it might be a bit different.
Right.
So
Okay.
it depends.
And do all women know when they have it? And do they have...
No, not all women have symptoms.
Okay.
And sometimes the woman only finds out when she realizes, hey, I can't have a child.
Okay.
And she goes for the test and she might have endometriosis
Okay.
as it's a cause of infertility.
Okay. Well, Jolie, the operation, did it happen?
Yes, it took place on July 4th in
July
Atlanta.
4th. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get all the funds? Because I understand it's costly. By the way, how much did it cost?
Well, we spent about $250,000 TT dollars.
Wow.
Yes.
Very
Very expensive,
expensive.
but something that was necessary to save my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I suppose you have a grandfather who would have given you the funds, and or
Well-
some godfather, some person.
Well, we serve a king, and
Oh.
through his people, we made up the funds.
You made it, okay.
Yeah, we made up all the funds. We didn't have one major donor, but
Oh.
the money just added up.
When you were here last time, you spoke about a concert that
Yes.
you were going to that you had. Never Give Up. Is it that concert helped to raise?
The concert helped a lot,
Mhm.
but mainly individual donors. They donated, and everything multiplied. God multiplied the money that we got.
Wow. How much did you have before the concert?
About half. We
Half
had
of
about
it,
half.
okay.
About 150,000, 125,000.
And did you have the balance before you left Trinidad?
We made it out probably just before surgery. We serve an
Wow.
on-time God.
Wow. You talk about just before surgery.
Yeah.
That means after you had left Trinidad.
Yes, we
and
still,
gone to
yeah.
Atlanta.
Funds were still coming in to make up the money.
Joleen, did you ever become anxious at one point?
I'll have to say no, because
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I just had this faith and this confidence.
Mhm.
Every time somebody asked, how are you going to make up that money? I just said, my father is a king.
Mm.
Lord is rich. He
Mhm.
will make it happen.
Mhm.
And people started believing along with me, yes, Joleen, we'll make up the money. You'll
Right.
get the money. And we
Right.
did,
And you made it up just in time.
just in
How
time.
many weeks or days before the operation?
Just a few days before we
Just a
had
few
all
days.
the funds. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
And how did you know that you made up all the funds? Because sure you were in relation to some people down in Trinidad. While
Yes.
you were, okay.
Well, my husband was on the ground, you could say, in Trinidad, liaising with the donors and ensuring that we got all the funds deposited to the account in time. Yeah, he had a big role to play. Yeah.
Let's just pause a little bit
Yes.
and talk about how good the Lord has been in response to that need. How did you see the Lord working out? Because I mean, $250,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even if you said that you made up half.
Yes.
And this is back in June.
June, yeah.
Right, before the concert. You left the country June 27th.
7th.
The concert was June
18th.
18th. So before June 18th, you still
Yes.
had
About half.
$125,000 plus dollars
Yes.
to make. How do you see, I mean, what picture do you have of God now more than ever?
God is real. He is real to me. He answers prayer. And it's not always on our time. You know,
That's
we
right.
have to wait on him. And waited for the Lord, and he answered. And I think in the last interview I said when they gave me the date, I had 24 hours to make a decision.
Right.
Because, I mean, they have a long waiting list.
Wow.
And after 24 hours, I was like, God, we just have the down payment, $300 US. I have no money. Please. You need to come true for us. And he did.
Wow. I'm sure, though, that there were times you might have been in the valley, you might have cried out, you might have been concerned, about the pain that you were experiencing.
Yes.
And then whether this operation is good.
Yeah, especially the weekend before I left.
Right.
Those in church saw me. I was in quite a lot of pain. I was walking almost bent over.
Right.
So I really think the surgery came just in time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that I am speaking to a living legend, a miracle sitting right in front
Well, I
of me?
came back saying I'm a walking miracle because God worked a miracle for me to get the surgery.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suppose the surgery was quite easy.
Not at all. The doctor said it was very challenging.
Okay.
These
Not
are
the patient, the surgery.
No, not me. The surgery, they said it was challenging because they needed 8 hours. Before they said,
8 hours.
they said probably about 5 hours to be able to get the job done. But I understood during the surgery they came out and they told my mom and aunt we need more time because it's still a lot more to get done.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very complicated, meaning that they had to separate all the fused organs. But in the end, we thank God that they were able to restore my anatomy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were the doctors ever concerned about your condition? Did they ever think that something is radically wrong with you, and if they ever going to be as successful as they have been?
Well, concerning the thoracic surgeon, he was a bit taken aback when he looked at my CT scan. He said, "Do you know that your lung is 2/3 filled with fluid?"
Wow.
I was like, "No. I mean, I knew there was fluid, but I didn't know it was that bad."
Wow.
So he was taken aback.
2/3.
He was. And he said to me, "I'm not sure I'll be able to do everything in one surgery."
Okay.
And I told him, not to worry. God is on our side. Everything will work out.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the end, they had to remove 2.3 liters of fluid from my right lung. So the lung was compressed, and the lung is like a balloon. So I had all this liquid on top of it. And they didn't know how long I was walking around with that.
Wow.
So just me walking around and living and functioning with that was incredible.
Just to put things in perspective, how serious was your condition in relation to other patients with a similar condition?
Well, there are 4 stages of endometriosis, and I was at stage 4, being most severe.
Wow.
Most severe adhesions, fused organs, and affecting even my lung and my diaphragm. I mentioned that last time.
Right.
And in the end, they removed the lining of my lung, called the pleura, because they said it was too far gone. They couldn't save it, covered in endometriosis. They also removed 5 centimeters of my diaphragm because they couldn't save it. So instead of trying to clean it up, they had to remove parts of it. So.
Okay. When you found out that your case was very serious, was it before the operation, well, not during the operation, but while you were in operation mode, or after the surgery?
After the surgery.
After.
Yeah.
Oh,
After the surgery, they confirmed, yes, indeed, it was
Right,
indeed
very
severe.
serious. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did that make you feel now that you came out of it?
Overwhelmed.
Right.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that, my lung was under so much pressure. But thankful that they saw me in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding the fact that you were able to raise the funds, that the doctors were very proficient and efficient in doing what they did. So, Joleen, would it be fair to say that your faith has made you whole?
Indeed. when we go through difficult moments, we tend to be closer to God, call on Him more.
Right.
So this experience has really brought me closer to Him.
And you've asked some hard questions.
Indeed, I asked Him a lot of hard questions.
Good. Because, you know, in the experience that we have, sometimes God uses it to see how much faith we really have in Him, even if things don't work out the way we want those things to work out.
Yeah.
But I can
So
see
true.
things have become better for you.
Indeed, things are a lot better.
Praise the Lord. Well, we want to come back to the interview in a short while. We take a break as we continue our discussion on never giving up. Here is Joleen Meharris-Simpson. You'll want to hear the conclusion of this whole testimony when we return.
Someone asked a question, why do we sing when we lift our hands to Jesus? What do we really mean? Someone may be wondering, when we sing our song, at times we may be crying and nothing's even wrong. I sing because I'm happy, I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and that's the reason why I sing. Someone asked a question, oh, why do we sing when we lift our hands to Jesus? What do we really mean? Just fast forward in. And when this war is over and we all said amen, in your hearts just keep on singing, and the song will never end. Oh, I sing because I'm happy. Oh, I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and that's the reason why I sing. I'm singing glory, hallelujah. Lord, I give the praises to you. Oh, glory, hallelujah. You're the reason why I sing. There's a better place where our Father waits, and every tear Jesus will wipe away. Oh, and the darkness will be gone, the weak shall be strong. Hold on to your faith. Oh, the sun will rain down those golden streets, and the voices of earth with the angels will sing, and every knee will bow, and sin will have no trace in the glory of His amazing grace. Peace when trouble blows, Jehovah sees, He sees, Jehovah knows, He is my peace when sorrow nears. Jehovah sees, Jehovah hears. Oh, that's the reason why I sing. 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 Oh, that's the reason why. That's the only reason. reason why you see.
I'm here with Joleen Meharris-Simpson, who has made a vow to never give up. And so far, she is keeping that vow as she continues to testify of how good the Lord has been in her life. Joleen, I thank God for the way He has been using you. He has operated on you, both physically and even spiritually. In our last incarnation, if you please, when you were here speaking about your anticipated surgery, you spoke about the fact that it's good to have support. Support in the form of your husband is one of the support that you've had. We will take a little break and see what you had to say about your husband and come right back.
We got married 4 years ago. While we were dating, things weren't so bad. I wasn't that sick. But as the years progressed, every month I keep getting sicker and sicker. And it's been a real test to our marriage because it's painful, as I say.
Right.
I was just reflecting, I think, yesterday. I was trying to think of what to say about this and marriage. And I remember sometimes I started getting chest pains because I said it's affecting my lungs. And I get a pain upon breathing. And sometimes I'm unable to lie down to sleep.
Right.
And I remember night after night just leaning up against that wall, and I'm unable to even reach out to hug my husband or to touch him or anything like that. So intimacy is also difficult because of the pain, constant pain in your body. But I thank God He's a man of faith.
Okay, he is.
He's a man of faith, and through prayer, we're getting through this. I also reflected a point in time, unable to sleep, and we'll get up to pray together.
Very well.
And while kneeling down, sometimes, we fall asleep. And I keep thinking, God, what would I do without Him?
Wow.
What would I do without Him? I don't know. He's been there for me.
You say you're married for 4 years.
4 years.
How long have you known him?
10 years.
10 years.
This year will be 10 years.
Okay, so that's sufficient to become very good friends.
Yes, great friends. And I would like to stress that in marriage, to get through the rough times, you have to be friends because you have to be able to enjoy each other's company despite what you're going through.
Do you think you could have made a better choice than this husband?
Well, God made that choice, and I think He handpicked him, because for a man to be at your wife's side while she's ill, and I did a video sometime, I talk about him having to clean up my vomit and really being there for me, and couldn't ask for a better husband.
He is listening right now. What would you want to tell him right now?
I'd like to say thank you.
Does he have a name, by the way?
Daniel. Daniel Simpson.
Tell him. Watch him.
I'd like to say thank you for the amazing support you've given to me, especially over the last 4 years we've been married. I don't know what I have done without you. I know he's going to say it's not me, it's God. That's going to be his answer. So I thank God for handpicking you for me.
Right. So I take it that your husband has been with you through this experience when you went for the operation, because you're saying that the support is very much important. So your husband has been with you.
Well, not physically. He was unable to come. In the end, he actually didn't get his U.S. visa. Yeah, so it was a bit
How long would you have stayed in the U.S.?
sad. I stayed there for 2 months.
Oh, it's 2 months.
But despite the fact that he wasn't able to come, they have technology, so we kept in touch via WhatsApp video. And he encouraged me from afar, but while I was there, my mom came with me, and we stayed with my aunt.
So you still had support?
I had support. I had the family support, and I couldn't have asked for better care and support from my mom and aunt. They took really good care of me.
Okay. I suppose it would have been bad news in the first instance, hearing that your husband could not have made it.
It was. We were very disappointed because we were looking forward for him being there, after the surgery. But, God has a way of working things out, and maybe he was meant to be here on the ground.
How has this whole experience strengthened your relationship with your husband?
It has indeed. It's the absence make the heart fonder. So while I was there, we actually grew closer together, even after being together for almost 10 years.
Right.
And we wouldn't give up the struggle and the challenges because we now appreciate each other more. He actually said to me, you do so much. I know you're not here. I really learned to appreciate you more.
Very good. And I met him recently myself.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Thank God.
He's really a Daniel. I'm not sure in which den, but he is a Daniel, and I'm thankful the Lord has been using the both of you for great ministry. What's in store for Joleen now now that she's out of surgery and she has been made whole,
Yes.
you no longer have the condition. What plans does Joleen have right now?
Well, in the new year, together with my husband, we plan on doing a foundation.
Right, you did speak about that. In
Yes,
our
the last
interview,
time.
right.
To help other women going through different health challenges. Of course, endometriosis, it could be fibroids, it could be polycystic ovaries, whatever health challenge. So the aim will be helping women live happy, healthy lives because as women, generally, we're very strong and we don't like to talk about what we are going through. So it's really to reach out to those women to help
Men don't
them.
like to talk about what they're going through. What are you speaking through? That's like a man thing, not a woman thing.
Very personal things
Well,
women
they will
don't
talk to
like
other
to
women
talk
about
about.
it. But they will talk to other women. They do talk. Sometimes we men have a hard time listening.
Yeah. No, there are some things women going through they don't like to talk about. Yeah. And this is one of them. So it'll be creating that space for women to talk about it and for them to get help so that they don't have to wait 9 years like myself to get better.
How you plan to create that space, seeing that you are saying that they don't like to talk? How are you going to elicit that kind of conversation from women?
Well, I hope to work with the Trans-Tobago Endometriosis Association to start forums for women to talk about what they're going through and also to create funding for them because sometimes it's difficult and I went through that myself, how difficult it was to get the funds, but to help them along the way.
Right. Let's go back again, even though I know we touched it in the first interview. What do you say to a woman who has lost a husband? And I don't mean lost a husband through death, but because he could not could not cope with her condition. What do you say to her, Miss Faith girl, Faith woman?
That's a difficult question because it's not something I have gone through. I thank God every day that I have my husband on my side.
Right.
But in that case, the foundation that I'm going to form,
thinking, yes.
we can have support for those women and be the support to help them get through it, to get their health back, to get their lives back.
Right.
Because with your health, you're really unable to fulfill your life, your calling.
What would you want to say to a woman now, right now, who's listening and is experiencing that type of challenge? What word of hope can you provide for such a woman?
Well, I will encourage them first to go on my Facebook page, Help My Endo. I have a lot of information about it. They can call me, message me. I can give them a lot of information. The first thing is knowledge.
Right.
Knowledge is power.
Right.
Do the research, know your body, know what you're going through, and then seek the necessary help and support.
And of course, they could take a page from your experience because from our discussion off air, you were telling me about some Bible experiences you've had, some Bible encounters you would have had.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, one of those experiences would be comparing myself to Queen Sheba.
Okay.
Yeah, when she went to see the king, she had a personal encounter with the king. And I saw this experience as having a personal encounter with Jesus.
Right.
And then I proved him. She proved the king. Because it was just like, God, we have no money, but we need to get this done.
Right.
Need you to provide $250,000. It was $250,000.
Wow.
So from zero to $250,000,
Wow.
I mean,
That's right.
that was just a miracle in himself.
Ridiculous. But God is good.
And now that I am back and I'm whole and I'm healed, I want to pay homage to the King.
Amen.
And live for Jesus.
Amen. Amen. That's wonderful. I know when Esther went to the king, she didn't just go to prove him with simple little questions that anybody can answer. There are questions that only the king could have answered. And there are some things which only God can answer. And don't be afraid to prove him. Go right to him and say, Lord, what is this one? Where is this one? What have I done?
Yeah.
Nice girl, who has never done anything bad. Why am I going through this? And so you are a testimony of somebody who felt and still feel that something like this should not have happened to you. And yet you were not afraid to make yourself vulnerable to God and say, Lord, I'm pounding on the gates of heaven for an answer.
Yes.
Please. And God answered you.
He did. I used to think, why me? God, why me? Why did I have to go through all of this?
Right.
And now I think, how is it that you have answered my prayer, God? I mean, what did I do to deserve such blessings?
Praise the Lord. And had it not been for the hard questions, she would not have found the king.
Yes.
So sometimes God uses the hard questions, the hard situations that we go through to find the king. As we begin to wind this thing up, Joleen, I am really encouraged by your testimony. How do you help somebody to build faith in God? Because, we use the term quite glibly or loosely and we say, well, have faith in God. And people say they have had faith in God,
Yes.
but things did not work
Work
out.
out.
How do you encourage somebody to keep holding on to God, even when it seems hopeless?
Well, he says that he will never leave us. He'll never forsake us. So no matter what we're going through, he's there for us. Even coming back home, things, there were challenges, but we continue to trust in God and said, okay, seek ye first your kingdom. God, we put in you first. And we know that you will supply all our needs. And he has been supplying all our needs.
Okay. Were there any persons, any naysayers along the way that may have discouraged you, or at least sought to discourage you during this whole episode?
Well, there were a few persons who kept asking, how are you going to get all of that money? That is a lot of money. And I said, oh, my father is a king. He's rich. He will supply all our needs. Everything would be okay. And they started believing along with me.
Look at that. Look at that. And of course, this was in the midst of other difficulties you were experiencing at the time as
Yeah,
well.
it was always also a difficult time, with some other family challenges.
Right.
But we trust that God, will bring us through that also.
Boast about God now. Tell us a little bit about why you believe that there is a God, why you believe that God is always on your side regardless of where we are in our whole mindset. Tell us a bit about your experience about God. Preach to us.
What can I say? There's so much to say, but I have learned to communicate with him like a friend. As they say, what's that one God? Or, what do you want me to do now?
Right.
And I've seen him answering in so many different ways, whether it's through scripture, whether it's through someone saying a word that I know that he is real.
Right.
And even though it felt like if our prayers weren't being answered, I think God waited for the right time to answer the prayer. And he did. And he answered on time. I just give a quick example. I was in the hospital because my lung was so affected. I had a lung catheter that I had to keep in a week after surgery. And the bottles to drain the catheter was $1,000 US per day. Of course, we didn't raise funds for this because that's unexpected.
$1,000 US.
Yes,
Right.
and they were trying to get me a donor, and they couldn't get a donor. So I was like, God, I know you have this. I will get a donor. And by the next Monday morning, the lady came and said, the company that makes the bottles, they're going to sponsor them for you. I said, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Even when I was going to get discharged, I was like, God, you know what's going to happen. I want to go home. I want to get discharged, but if it's your will and I stay here, I will. And in the end, the doctor said, we're keeping you for another weekend.
Wow.
And even though I was kind of sad, I was like, this is what I prayed for God to work it out and for the doctors to do what they have to do. So throughout this entire experience, I've seen God opening doors for me and making things happen. So God is real.
He is real, and he says he will never leave us nor forsake us. He won't give up on you, so that we will never have to give up on him. This is Joleen Meharris-Simpson, a brand new person in the Lord, a brand new marriage, if you please, but a brand new experience to share with us what the Lord has been doing in our life, in her life. But he is not stingy concerning his blessings. What he has done for Joleen, he can do it for you 24/7. Just trust him. You will see it for yourself. Thank you again for taking this time to join us, and we look forward to having you once again.
Thank you for viewing JC 24/7. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to inspire your living as you prepare for heaven. You can get it all on JC 24/7.